All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about how to think and what to do when you make a mistake, whether it's a small one or a big one. Let's get into it.
Will you be right?
So the reason I wanted to bring up this subject, it's been coming up a bit with some of my clients, and I see it within myself and friends and everyone. When we make a mistake, we're all going to make mistakes, guys. We're all going to make errors. We're all going to fail. Sometimes it's going to be a big fail. Sometimes it's a small one. But I think the problem that I see most often when this occurs is we sometimes get stuck or marinate when we make a mistake. We are often we're often very hard on ourselves. We're often not forgiving of ourselves. We often just kind of marinate in how could you do this? They marinate in guilt, marinate I shouldn't have done that, marinating on what are people going to think of me? And I'm not saying you ought to not ever feel bad when you make an error, especially if it's a big one. But being stuck in that really isn't doing much. And that's an error that people make. They stay stuck in this position. And that's something that you can work on and have empowerment to change. And it makes a huge deal when you're able to kind of make that switch. So why do you do that? Why do people stay stuck in those, I shouldn't have done it, I ought to do it? And people will carry this for maybe a week. Sometimes some people carry it for years. So let me explain why people do that. People stay stuck in those situations or marinating in guilt because their expectation is to be perfect. Their expectation is to be perfect. And this is an error that people make. They think the goal is to be perfect, but let me tell you today, it's not. The goal is to aim for perfection. If you're one of those ambitious people, if you're one of those people that just wants to get after it and, wants to crush it, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is to aim for perfection in order to squeeze all the potential within you. That's the goal of aiming for perfection. If that's how you're going to see it, if that can drive you. How else can you really squeeze out all of your potential if you're not aiming for perfection? Think about it. It's pretty common sense, but that's the error that people make. Remember, if there's one thing you're going to remember from this video is the goal isn't perfection. The goal is to squeeze all the potential within you. So here's mistake number 2. People get stuck in this era of thinking, and they do not find out how they got to that position. They don't analyze correctly, and they probably forget, as time goes by, they'll forget and not really drive into the situation and really get all the details on how that happened. And it's very important to learn. If you can learn from your mistake, it's not a net negative, it's a net positive, but you have to get out of that mindset and then analyze what exactly happened. And you got to start within yourself. Don't blame external forces. Blame you. Blame yourself. Start intrinsically, start internally, internal focus of loci, and then work your way outward. But start with you. It's usually something you did or didn't do, and that's okay. Remember, the aim is not for perfection. It's to learn from what happened so we can get all our potential next time we're in a situation. Okay. Here's the final mistake that people make when trying to overcome mistakes or challenges. And it's not even subject to only this frame of mistakes. Many people engage in a lot of high advanced performance strategies. I mentioned earlier, those people who want to crush it and all, such as enhancing communication skills and emotional intelligence. However, they often overlook mastering these fundamental aspects that I'm sharing with you right now, and progressing to more techniques. Everybody wants the shiny and fancy stuff, but these simple things that I'm sharing with you, if you can master that, it's going to get a good foundation for you to set up for more complex things and build on that. Neglecting these basic aspects of how to handle your mind when you're making a mistake lead to difficult outcomes. And there isn't a solid foundation. If there isn't a solid foundation, those advanced techniques aren't going to be really worth much, to be honest with you. So I'm going to leave you with this quote from a very famous book. And I think it kind of wraps everything up really nice. And it reads this way: whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So what this tells me, guys, is don't lie to yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. Focus on the small things. Really dominate the small things, and you'll be able to burden or handle or learn greater things. And it's going to be earned knowledge because you already had a great foundation. And if you're not honest with yourself about these little foundational tips, you're going to be really, really failing in a big way. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Very quick video I wanted to share with you. If you got value from the video, click like and subscribe. Leave me a comment and let me know if you struggle in this area or you dominate it. I would love to hear your opinion. I'm out, guys. We'll be back. Remember, ego is in your amigo.